The Kremlin tightening its grip on Ukraine right now. Could Russia invade the smaller country before the end of this month?
And joining us now to talk about it is Vice Chair of the Center for American Security for America First Policy Institute and former Chief of Staff National Security Council, Fred Fleitz. Fred, welcome to the show.
Good to be here.
Good to see you, Fred. President Biden speaking yesterday to NBC News, telling Americans to get out of Ukraine. Take a listen.
And citizens should leave now. We're dealing with one of the largest armies in the world. This is a very different situation, and things could go crazy quickly.
Fred, what do you make of that? Obviously, we don't want to see a repeat of Afghanistan. These two situations are a little bit different, but the president made it very clear that U.S. troops will not be firing on Russian troops at any time.
Well, of course they can't. Russia's a nuclear armed power. We can't get into a war with Russia. I think the idea of Russia invading Ukraine is horrible. We should try to stop it through diplomacy and economic sanctions, but we're not going to go to war with Russia. Until yesterday, I didn't think a war was likely, but I think it is. I think an invasion is likely now. I agree with Senator Tom Cotton, who said yesterday that military patterns and the military buildup make an invasion look fairly likely. Maybe he says in the next few days. I think Putin promised Chinese President Xi he'll do it after the Olympics, but I do think an invasion is coming.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of if it's happening after the Olympics, like you mentioned. So, Fred, the State Department reportedly estimating last year there were about 6,000 Americans in Ukraine. Just last summer, we had that similar situation in Afghanistan. But White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says this isn't the same type of mass evacuation. Fred, what's the difference, and do you think that message for Americans to get out of Ukraine should have come sooner?
It's not the same. I mean, Ukraine's not going to be taken over by radical Islamists who want to kill Americans. They could be killed in crossfire, and if Ukraine was to become a war zone, I think they have plenty of time to get out if they leave now. They were given more notice than in Afghanistan. It was very difficult to get out of Afghanistan. There are road routes to get out of Ukraine fairly easily. But with Senator Cotton and President Biden both saying to Americans to get out, it's time to get out.
Fred, just a question. We've got a lot of parents, grandparents that wake up with us here every single morning. And there's still a lot of people are scratching their heads when it comes to why Ukraine matters. Why does this matter? And why should people at home care about what happens in Eastern Europe to a small country they probably really don't know much about?
We care about the rule of law. We care about the sovereignty and the right of self-determination of peoples. It's wrong for one nation to take over another nation by force. We're not supposed to do that after the founding of the United Nations with various treaties on the rights of nations and self-determination. What Putin is planning violates international law. And we thought we wouldn't have another major war after World War II by banning this sort of thing. But we know from an earlier pact, the Kellogg-Briand Pact, banning war, that's easier said than done. It's a bad precedent. Putin wants to invade Ukraine for a variety of historical reasons, for security reasons. That doesn't make it right. But I also think we don't fully understand his rationale for wanting to take Ukraine.
Fred, just a quick follow, about 15 seconds. Is the U.S. government literally in just a wait-and-see mode right now?
I think so. I wish we were using more direct diplomacy with Putin. I think we should send some senior officials, maybe Leon Panetta and Bob Gates, to talk to him directly. I don't know if that would work, but I wish we were more active.
All right, Fred Fleitz, thanks so much. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Look forward to having you on next week, Fred. Have a great weekend. Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.